From family events to volunteer opportunities to community happenings, there is a lot going on in your community. Learn about all the possibilities and opportunities on this episode of Community Hotline.
Hi, and welcome to Community Hotline. My name is Monica Weitzel. We're here at MetroEast Community Media in Gresham, Oregon. Thanks for joining us tonight. With me tonight, I'm going to have several different women from the community talking about some really important nonprofit organizations that are out there to help you, to help your friends, to help animals. And that's who we're going to talk with first tonight. We have Nadia Vera from Fences for Fido. Thanks for being here, Nadia.
Thank you for having me.
I'm delighted. Tell me a little bit about Fences for Fido. I found out about it originally from a street fair that I went to in my neighborhood, and I was very impressed with the work you've done. So give us a little background, if you would.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad you were there that day.
Me too.
Fences for Fido is an all-volunteer nonprofit organization that focuses on creating or building fences for dogs who live their lives outside, exposed to the elements, day in and day out. And
there's a lot of them, aren't there?
There really is a whole lot.
Yeah.
The beauty of Fences for Fido is that we focus on improving the lives of these dogs. We give them a fence where they can run and they can have freedom, where they don't have to be tied up to a chain. We give them warm houses where they can have protection from the elements. We also offer spaying and neutering services. This is for the well-being of the animal, of the dog.
Yes.
But to be honest with you, dogs are pack animals.
Mm-hmm.
And a dog is either going to be, when a dog lives their life chained and they are isolated without access to their family or to a pack, one of two things happens. Either they become depressed or they become aggressive, because that is their ability to protect themselves by running has been taken away.
Right.
So that leaves them exposed to other animals who can come and beat them up or take their food or anything like that.
Especially if they have no fence to protect them.
Exactly. And it also leaves them open to any being who does not have a good intention.
Why do people chain their animals? Why does that happen? Is it just because they don't have a fence that they choose to do that? Or do people do it out of ignorance, that it's not in the best interests of the animal? What do you see?
We find that there are many reasons. Oftentimes, people really do love their dogs and simply do not have the means to provide them with a fence. And, I have had several cases where a child has asthma. And
so they don't want it in the house.
They don't want them in the house, but there are also instances where people simply don't want the dog in the house, and they just don't have the means. We find numerous reasons, but to be honest with you, without judgment, we go in and we provide assistance, because the idea is to help the dog. And we've had several owners who said, it never occurred to me.
See, I think that's probably more often than you would think. It doesn't occur to them that these animals, they have feelings too, and they need care and love just like the rest of us do.
Exactly.
You brought a video that I think we should show now that kind of gives a good idea of the work that you do. So if it's okay with you, we'll just take a look at that now.
Great.
Okay.
Today I'm filming the Fences for Fido crew building closures for the Railroad 5. A few lucky dogs that are about to be free of their chains.
A group of friends and I started Fences for Fido a couple years ago. We felt as though we no longer wanted to feel helpless when learning about a particular dog on the end of a chain, and we really initially had the goal of changing the life of the dog. I don't think any of us ever felt as though, or recognized that we might actually make an impact on the family. Time and time again, I think the families no longer surprise me in that they love their dogs. And most of the time, chaining is never a first option for them. It's a last resort. And they chain for a lot of very complicated reasons. Many of us maybe just have never been in that situation before. I think every Saturday when we're out, I'm filled up in immeasurable ways for really just seeing firsthand the difference that a fence can make for the dog.
I love it. So,
How does it make you feel?
like you're doing something. Like you're making a difference. Truly making a difference. And so, I do what I can.
I will say that I think what is motivating for all of our volunteers and for me in particular is that magic moment around 12 noon when only the people who are there can probably really understand this, when you get to see a dog smile and run and play and you see this immediate change in a dog's spirit. We've now unchained over 230 dogs in Oregon and Washington. A Fido vet will give them all a shot and everything. Let me just call and keep up with him for 2 days.
Okay.
And then we can have that leg looked at as well.
Yes.
And then he said to me just to take the $200 that we were going to give him and put that towards the vet expenses.
Okay.
See the dog.
Okay.
You're
Okay.
Felix. I know.
We're both sitting here all choked up. That was tough. That was beautiful. You're really doing some special things for these dogs. Tell me, Nadia, obviously there's lots of different reasons people chain their dogs. How do you find the people, or how do you find the dogs that need the fences? How does that happen?
Many ways. Oftentimes people who have learned about Fences for Fido will know about somebody or happen to see somebody and say, hey, I know where I can refer this to. So most of the times we get someone saying, hey, I know of a case. But oftentimes people themselves will learn about Fences for Fido and will apply for a fence.
That's great.
It is great.
The people that maybe were referred by somebody else, what are their reactions to you when you first approach them to tell them we have this proposition, we'd like to build a fence for your dog, what kind of reactions do you get? Are sometimes people insulted, or are most of the people receptive?
I would say most of the people are receptive, because the reality is that most of the time, like Kelly said in the video, it's the last resort.
Right.
So
if they could have done something different, they would have, perhaps.
I'd like to think that.
Yeah.
I like to think that. And, oftentimes we approach them and we say, hey, we'd like to build you a free fence. That's it. We are not asking for any money in return. We often get, really?
Yeah.
Free?
Yeah.
That's it?
What's the catch?
What's the catch? We get that a lot.
Yeah.
But really, all we do is we are an all-volunteer nonprofit organization. We specifically raise funds so that we can build these fences and improve the lives of these dogs.
That's a great thing. Speaking of raising funds, obviously every nonprofit needs donations. How do you go about raising funds for your organization?
Yes, we have a very, very creative team, and we have an amazing, we have a really great Facebook presence.
Good.
Like I said, I can't say it enough, we are all volunteer. We numerous things, all kinds of pleas, etc. But something that we have coming up is an event happening. It's called A Starry Night, and it will be taking place at Journey's Wine Bar in Multnomah Village on December 9th.
Oh, good.
And there is, it's a small, intimate space, and therefore there's limited seating. But that, through events and other things, is one way that we can try and raise funds.
Good. Now we can't say any prices on community television, but since there is limited seating, if people are interested in in getting tickets to this event, they should go to your website or Facebook page.
Yes, they should go to fencesforfido.org/Starry Night.
Okay, Starry Night. It's from 6 to 8 p.m. on December 9th.
Correct. Thank
Wonderful.
you.
Now, tell me, I also read something on your website about Smokey's Fund. What is that?
Smokey's Fund is a fund specifically designed for senior dogs.
Senior dogs. And what qualifies them as a senior dog?
Well, essentially a dog who's lived their entire lives in a chain, more than 5 years.
Wow.
And
can you imagine? I can't imagine.
It's heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking.
And we recently had a case. Biagi had lived at the end of the chain. If I'm not mistaken, it was 11 or 13 years. Either way, a very, very long life. And this sweet dog was so scared when the fence was finally built that he spent the entire time in his little doghouse. And then eventually when everybody left, he came out and hugged, or was allowed himself to be petted by Kelly. And it was a wonderful experience to know that we helped him. He unfortunately passed away recently, and really lit a fire within us, because that's exactly why we do what we do.
Yeah. You made the end of his life a happier one.
Exactly.
Right. So how do you use that money to help the dogs? It's specifically the money that's raised for Smokey's Fund is specifically to build fences for those senior dogs. Is that correct?
Yes, fences, and give them medical care, such as pain relief. Oftentimes they'll have arthritis and other issues from spending so many years chained up. So that goes toward that. They do have different needs from dogs who are younger and more agile.
Yes, of course they do, just like people.
Exactly.
Well, we're almost out of time, Nadia, so tell me real quick about volunteers, crew leaders, that you have a need for them. What do people need to know if they want to become involved with Fences for Fido?
Yes, thank you so much.
Sure.
We are in desperate need for volunteers, people to come out and help build fences, and crew leaders to lead the builds, particularly in the Salem area and Southwest Washington.
Oh, okay.
We started in Portland, but as popularity has grown, so has the need, essentially. And our volunteer base is mostly in Portland, and it's kind of hard to get people constantly to go to these faraway builds.
Sure.
So,
but if you are in the Portland or Gresham area or anywhere around here and you want to help, you'll take that help
absolutely,
too.
please visit fencesforfido.org.
Great. Okay, well, we are out of time. It went far too fast. Thank you so much, Nadia, for being here. And if you are interested in supporting, volunteering, being part of Fences for Fido, go to their website, check it out. You won't be disappointed. It's a great organization, and they'd love to have your help. Don't go away. I'm Monica Weitzel. We'll be back in just a moment.